From the studios of WZDX-TV in Huntsville, Alabama, I'm Kenesha Dees, and this is the FOX54 Weekend Review. Settle in. Over the next half hour, we'll bring you up to speed on the weekend local news, including an interfaith banquet that saw people from two religions breaking bread with one another and why they feel the symbolism is an important thing for others to see. And we have a high schooler who performs double duty on the football field, both as a member of the football team and the marching band. And the high-profile South Star Music Festival came and went last weekend, and although it didn't all go according to plan, it laid the groundwork for what organizers hope is a long-standing music tradition in the Rocket City. And the ground is what makes South Star this week's top story. Heavy rain and foot traffic turned John Hunt Park, the site of the venue, into a mud pit and led officials to call off the second half of the two-day event. But the festival started off with high spirits. Let's take another look.
The wait is finally over. South Star Music Festival is finally here. There's expected to be 45 to 50,000 people over at John Hunt Park over the next 2 days. The lineup looking nice despite the rain. Some artists like Winona Fighter did drop out. Gwen Stefani is on the stage right now to wrap up the night. FOX54's Gabe Glassman was out there all day and was able to chat with a couple of the artists who performed today. Here are some of the highlights.
I couldn't be more excited to be here, a place that I've never played before, a festival that has never happened before, to bring a uniquely Morellian brand of rock and roll that will have elements of Rage Against the Machine, Audioslave, Prophets of Rage, and my own solo work, which I think is going to fit great on today, and excited to rock it.
We're Southern boys. I grew up in Panama City, Florida, which is basically lower Alabama, right? And to be surrounded by such cool artists, you know, it's a very eclectic thing. You got Shinedown and then Ludacris and Gwen Stefani. It's just neat. It's nice to see all types of genres kind of playing together. When Jane's Addiction dropped out about a week ago, they're friends of mine, and sort of we connected, and I wanted to make sure that the fans here got a great rock and roll show. We're going to blow everything up. We're going to have a blast. It's fun. My part of the day is to rock people absolutely into the grounds, and I'm going to give a guarantee beforehand. That's what we're going to do. I'm a hot sauce nerd. I have been my whole life. Half my fridge is hot sauces. I make my own. You know, I love to cook with hot sauces. Actually, I just recently went to the New York City Hot Sauce Expo, and we won first and third, so obviously I did something right. It's great to be part of like the inaugural festival here, and hopefully you make memories that are indelible and that stay with people forever.
People attending South Star Music Festival woke up to some sad news Sunday morning. Day 2 being canceled, not due to inclement weather, but instead for safety concerns. Take a look at this picture. This is a picture of the marquee sign festival goers were greeted by as they entered through the main gates. This picture shows this marquee sign on Sunday morning. You can see that green grass turn into brown mud. And these were the conditions festival goers were dealing with all of Saturday. I talked to some people who showed up on Sunday to pick up stuff they left in lockers overnight, and they say they're disappointed.
We were laying in bed about to prepare to go out and hang out for the day, and then we saw it on a Facebook post. And I literally told my best friend, I was like, this is a joke, right? Like, I want to cry. My initial reaction was, oh, this sucks. I'm pissed. Super pissed. We've been looking forward to this for months.
Last night was pretty muddy, but I was here to see Gwen, so I didn't really care what the conditions were. I was just here to see her.
I think they should have also been prepared for this. Should have probably already been postponed.
Festival officials say they will be refunding those who paid for a one-day pass on Sunday, and for those who paid for a two-day pass, they'll be refunding half of the cost. With the second day of the first ever South Star Music Festival being canceled, people are leaving the area disappointed.
After having been there the first day and trudging through all the mud and seeing what had actually happened to the grounds there, I wasn't super surprised.
Wet, a little wild, but for most, day 1 of the music festival at John Hunt Park was also wonderful. The same can't be said for the day after.
Having bought a bunch of like boots and everything, being ready for it, and then we woke up and we got a text message from the festival that said it's canceled.
It was definitely a bummer because all my favorite bands were on the second day. I was super stoked to see Sublime, Blink-182.
This is what the main entrance looks like as of Monday afternoon. The grass destroyed. Joshua and Aaron, who flew home from Huntsville Airport, say they weren't surprised the show was called off.
I feel like if 20,000 people got back out there in that mud pit, it could have turned into a disaster.
It was just a mud hole. Like even when they were trying to ask us to jump, we could barely jump.
It was like walking through a warm Frosty.
While the mud may have ended the first South Star Music Festival early, music lovers had good things to say about the performances which did happen.
If it had not been for all the rain, it would have been pulled off without a hitch. I think the organizers did a great job.
I really do hope Huntsville talks about it and continues on with trying to bring acts like this to the city, because it seems like a good thing for them.
Logistically speaking, one of the better put together festivals I've ever been to.
The city of Huntsville has a 3-year contract with C3 Presents, the production company behind the festival, so work is already underway for the next edition of the event. We will be seeing another South Star Music Festival next year. It's known the city has a 3-year contract with C3 Presents, the production company behind the festival. The city says they're looking forward to South Star returning in 2025. City officials also say there is no long-term damage to John Hunt Park. The issue came as a result of too much rain and wet ground getting muddy due to an estimated 20,000 people's worth of foot traffic. We spoke to the Huntsville-Madison County Chamber of Commerce about the benefits of so many people coming to the area for the event.
This festival gave us the opportunity to reach so many people that we wouldn't normally be able to reach, and to get them here, to get them having a good time, getting to see all the really cool places that we have in addition to what the festival offered, was really an opportunity for us that we could not have imagined. The festival gave us an opportunity to showcase the work that's done in Huntsville with the SLS and the NASA display right inside the gate. The day after, the second day of the festival, when we got the news that it wasn't going to happen, I was in an area with people who said, hey, festival's canceled, how about we go to the Space Center instead? It was a great crossover for us and a really good way to showcase what Huntsville's all about.
And for those who attended the festival, South Star wants to hear from you. Make sure to check your emails for a link to a feedback survey.
For the one-day folks who were able to attend South Star, they may have found it difficult to get steady Wi-Fi reception, and there's a good cause for that. Ahead of Hurricane Helene's landfall last week, Wi-Fi equipment bound for South Star was diverted and added to equipment trucks preparing to send relief to the hardest hit areas. From the Florida Panhandle to the Carolinas and even eastern portions of Tennessee, Helene caused massive flooding and other damage that has majorly disrupted roads and other infrastructure. Thousands of homes and businesses destroyed too. Here's a look at how Alabamians are heeding the call for help in the aftermath of Helene. While Helene ravaged the southeast, North Alabama only had to deal with rain, and even that wasn't significant in terms of volume. But the impact of the storm has hit the hearts of many in our area, and some in the shoals are answering the call for help. Our Simon Williams talked to some groups in Northwest Alabama who are stepping up to support our neighboring states. And Simon, how are they helping?
Yeah, Kenesha, Tree Pro Incorporated is a Northwest Alabama-based company. They handle big brush clearing projects and stump grinding of local residences. It's a company of 130 people that typically gets called in by utility companies in the region when major storms come through, and requires cleaning of downed trees, and so electricians and linemen, they can rebuild the grid. After this latest natural disaster, CEO Casey Crowell got to thinking about people rather than profits. Crowell's company is collecting supplies and cash donations for the recovery efforts in Appalachia, and within hours they were getting the goods: non-perishable food items, diapers, and other baby supplies, and cleaning materials, plus donations. $750 had been raised as of this afternoon, and drop-offs have been happening all day. Crowell says the drive is overperforming so far.
Of course, we don't pray for storms, but it's evident that we benefit from storms, financially. And that's kind of what led us to this deal here, just wanting to give back. When you back up and see the victims of this stuff, it don't feel too good. If we could just get the supplies to them, then maybe we could be of assistance to those guys. I knew that we had a pretty big reach, but it really took off, and the communities really came together. And it's been flabbergasting for me.
They're really rallying the whole region. The entire Lauderdale County Volunteer Fire Department, local schools, and churches have contributed so far. The University of North Alabama is stepping up too. Associate Athletic Director Megan Dye says she was moved by the pictures and videos of victims online and wanted to use the UNA platform to get the word out.
We can use, like I said, that social media platform to reach people that are located here in the Shoals, and that are also going to be coming in from outside the Shoals. We're hosting 3 competitions this week with volleyball, soccer, and football. So those fans, that are traveling with those teams would have the opportunity to bring supplies here. If it may not be easy for them to get things to these areas. So it just kind of spreads the reach that we can have.
The folks at Tree Pro plan to label and pack supplies Thursday morning and then drive trailers to the Chattanooga area where they'll be flown by local pilots to impacted areas in Tennessee and North Carolina. So get your donations to them at their Florence location by Wednesday night. The donation locations at UNA's ticket office and the House Cell Fieldhouse, they're open now. For more information on where to drop off supplies or donate, you can visit our website, fox54.com. Kenesha?
Thank you, Simon. And like we've said, all sorts of help is headed to the states hardest hit by Helene. And if you follow disaster relief efforts in the past, you may be familiar with these guys.
We're in Birmingham, Alabama, staged with all of our team, with our equipment, and we're going to be heading down today from Birmingham to try to get into Tallahassee to get a site set up. We're finna start rolling, got a convoy of about 18 vehicles, and wish us safe travels.
The nonprofit Operation Barbecue Relief draws support from folks who usually do their cooking in restaurants across the country. For Helene, the first wave of help moved in from a staging area in Birmingham. Those trucks arriving in hard-hit areas over the weekend. The effort is driven by volunteers who coordinate with other relief organizations to make sure nobody goes hungry in this time of need. Now back home, Governor Kay Ivey is deploying the Alabama National Guard to assist in the most heavily impacted areas of North Carolina. The 13-person team includes 11 airmen from around the state who serve as the fatality search and recovery team. The team will work to recover as many of the 1,000 missing people in western North Carolina as possible. And if you wish to help those affected by Helene, a link to donate can be found on our website. One Huntsville restaurant, though, is looking to help, and it all starts with a burger. Drake's off Airport Road has a unique way for you to help Helene victims. If you buy a barbecue burger from now till October 10th, $5 of that purchase will go toward 2 different foundations for helping those affected. We spoke with the managing partner of Drake's of Huntsville to learn more.
We have several Drake's locations throughout Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, so we thought it would be best to help these communities in the best way we could. What better way than to do one of our most popular burgers, the barbecue burger. For everyone we sell, we'll give $5 to the donations. It's the North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund and then the East Tennessee Donation Fund.
If you do wish to take part in this promotion, you should know that only the barbecue burger is part of this deal. Doomsday Haunted Attraction is excited for its opening weekend, but folks there are also stepping up to help. Our Gabe Glassman shares how they're haunting for hope.
Watching the horrific things that are happening, online and on the news with the hurricane and the storm damage, that we just wanted to do something to help any way that we could.
Doomsday Haunted Attraction may be opening for a season of spooky fun, but those who put it all together know not everyone will be celebrating this Halloween.
We definitely feel a strong need to be a supportive part to help our friends in Tennessee and North Carolina.
They're hoping to help, putting a donation box on site, collecting items for those affected. But it's not just this haunted house that's stepping up.
We had talked about potentially getting something together called Haunts for Hope and just getting us and several other haunted houses.
It all took off after a Facebook post they made regarding donations to help the storm-ravaged South.
It wasn't long before other haunted houses started calling us and wanting to partner up.
And the spirit of these haunting helpers is spreading beyond North Alabama.
Other states have started doing similar things and trying to team up to do these care packages, which is, I think, a wonderful thing.
We're just going to try and bring as many people together and see what we can do with it.
They'll be accepting donations into mid-November.
We'll all get together and do a big convoy all the way up to the Carolinas or wherever we need to go with all those donations.
We'll take as many trucks and trailers as we have to get them up there.
And after seeing images of the true damage Hurricane Helene left, the decision to dive into volunteering was an easy one.
It doesn't matter where you stand politically or anything like that. When there's a disaster, we need to help each other as Americans.
For a full list of what they'll be accepting, please visit fox54.com. In Athens, I'm Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Helene may have been the trigger for a big mess in Guntersville overnight. One of the historic downtown buildings partially collapsed in the early hours of this morning. The building is here on the 400 block of Gunter Avenue. The collapse prompted the closure of a stretch of southbound US 431. Our Ken McCoy was in Guntersville today, getting the scoop on this incident and how it will impact the community.
A portion of Gunter Avenue off of Court Street was closed most of the morning and part of the afternoon after a partial building collapse spilled debris into the roadway. I spoke with the Gunnerville Chief of Police, Ryan Darnell, who says between 3:30 and 4:30 a.m., the second floor of the old Marshall County Legislative Office collapsed into the first floor of the building. Crews began work immediately, blocking off the street and clearing up debris in the roadway. The building sits just across from the Marshall County Courthouse, who says operations in the building continued as normal. Now, I did speak to several of the businesses here on the street, including the law office that sits just across from where the collapse happened, who shared with me that he got up around 5:30 a.m. to come check on his building, and thankfully, his building and the building surrounding it are okay. I also made a reach out to the Marshall County Legislative Office, who moved out of their building a short while ago to see if there was any safety concerns prior to the move, and at this time, they're unable to make a comment. Here in Gunnersville, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
One year ago tonight, that's how long it's been since Decatur resident Steve Perkins was shot and killed by then Decatur police officer Mac Marquette. It's a somber anniversary marked with reflection and a look into the progress that has been, has not, and is still yet to be made. The incident happened in the early hours of September 29, 2023, just outside Steve Perkins' home. What started as a towing dispute escalated into shots fired by now former Decatur police officer Mac Marquette, killing Perkins in his driveway. This marked a major turning point in relations between Decatur residents, city leaders, and the Decatur Police Department as a whole. And many in the community have maintained consistent pressure for justice in Steve's name. Today, the call for justice came in the forms of scripture, song, and speech as the community was welcomed to Westside Missionary Baptist Church in Decatur for a remembrance service. Loved ones reflected on their life with Steve and motivated the masses to remain committed to the cause.
At the ceremony of remembrance for Steve Perkins' killing, there were expressions of joy, sorrow.
That was my last time speaking with Steve on my birthday, because the next call my dad. He was no longer with us.
And appeals to a higher power. As always with Steve's death, it's never just been about him. The pursuit of justice is not only in his name, but for his family and for other victims of racism, police brutality, and corruption. Steve's older brother Nick remembered him as a builder, working in moments big and small to improve the lives around him.
It's been a rough year. We should use Steve's life and death as examples to all that we can to build ourselves, build our lives, build our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, I charge you today, be like Steve, be a builder.
Because at this point, in this juncture, in this city, that's what we need, builders. It's obvious that we have a very lack of leadership. Nobody's building, nobody's coming together, nobody's trying to bridge that gap between our city officials and our citizens. So right now, that's what we need, builders.
The support shown today, in all forms, was uplifting, says program coordinator Terrence Atkins.
It's been a rough year, so just seeing the community still engaged kind of gives me hope that we can continue to do this fight. We knew there was going to be a long haul for us, so just making sure that the community is engaged and they're still coming out and they're still showing love and support is helping us to keep pushing and keep fighting.
While Steve's death is the catalyst for this movement, Nick doesn't want his brother's death to be lost in the pursuit of larger goals.
The issue of transparency and the issue of leadership. When we get those two done, I believe as a community we can start building and pushing Decatur forward. And we can not necessarily move past Steve's situation, but use it to build on and make Decatur a better place.
An event of remembrance was not encumbered by memories. Rather, use them as reminders of what work there still is to do. In Decatur, Simon Williams, Fox 54 News.
The trial for Mac Marquette is set for April 7th, 2025. Last week, a status conference was held by the Morgan County District Attorney to move the trial from its original date of November 18th. The pushback is due to Morgan County District Attorney Scott Anderson saying there are multiple high-profile capital murder charges scheduled before Marquette's. Meanwhile, a third-party review committee was contracted to examine the culture and policies within the Decatur Police Department. This month, Green Research and Technology was granted 400 more hours by the city to complete their review. It will cost the city more than $100,000.
Alabama's win over the University of Georgia Saturday night caused a lot of ruckus on social media, especially after a deepfake video was posted of head coach Kalen DeBoer making some pretty off-the-wall statements. The original post took this footage of DeBoer's post-game conference and manipulated it using artificial intelligence to say things including Jalen Milroe took the Bulldogs to the vet and had them put to sleep, that everyone knew Alabama would beat Georgia and that they always do, and that DeBoer nearly soiled himself in the fourth quarter, among several other comments not suitable for broadcast television. We've listened to the press conference in full and can verify he did not make any of those statements. Now, deepfake videos are becoming more common as we hit election season. Here's how to tell if a video you come across has been manipulated. First is the speaker saying something outrageous that triggers an emotional response. Second, look at the quality of the video. The deepfake DeBoer video is of low quality, designed to mask the fact that his mouth wasn't in sync with the words. Manipulated audio can also have unnatural speech patterns, tone, and pitch compared to regular human speech. And it's truly full speed ahead for the presidential election on November 5th. In fact, ballots are being cast right now. But even as the days tick down in a pivotal election, our Gabe Glassman explains the state of Alabama is headed to court to defend a practice the federal government calls a violation of the law.
With the 2024 presidential election coming up officially next month, a big focus is being placed on election integrity.
We are certainly barreling towards November the 5th.
And while most of us will vote that first Tuesday of next month, some Alabamians are already casting their ballots. The election is now underway.
We've had a lot of registrations over the last month come in. Absentee voting is underway. I know that a lot of the circuit clerks and absentee election managers around the state are very busy.
But the flurry of activity for Alabama's top election official isn't limited to the casting and counting of ballots. Last week, the Justice Department took Alabama to court, accusing the state of improperly removing thousands of voters from the rolls. We caught up with Secretary of State Wes Allen at an event hosted by the Republican woman of Huntsville. We asked him about the lawsuit that accuses him of purging voter rolls too close to the election.
I can say that it is my constitutional duty to make sure that only American citizens are voting in our elections in Alabama. It verifies that what we've been doing since day one to make sure that only American citizens are voting in our elections. That's my constitutional duty, and that's what we've been doing from day one.
Election security has been a familiar theme for Republicans this political season, and it was the topic revisited at Tuesday's gathering in Huntsville.
We've talked about our technology being secure, about our paper balloting process being secure.
It's always important to get out and visit with the people of Alabama and let them know the steps we are taking to fortify Alabama elections, to make sure Alabama elections are fair, secure, and transparent.
If you plan to vote in November and haven't yet registered, the deadline here in Alabama is October 21st. In Huntsville, I'm Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
People living at the Derrick Street camp in Huntsville have been given 2 weeks to move out. The city says it plans to clean up this space to make conditions safe. The camp is located here just east of Glenwood Cemetery in Huntsville. Officials with Huntsville police say 50 to 70% of the area was burned in the fire that happened last month. Now, city officials are working to get the area back in shape. Fox 54's Ken McCoy has more.
From job loss to addiction, there are a number of reasons why someone can find themselves homeless. But local groups say finding the right support can help change that experience.
I think, with the economy and the way things are going right now, certainly those numbers are rising for folks in need.
Homelessness can affect anyone.
It's easy to assume that it's just people who, aren't doing what they need to do, right? They're not working, they're not whatever. And certainly that can be the case. But we're finding also that it has a lot to do with there's people out there who they are working.
Homeless encampments like the one on Derrick Street become home for some, but they're often not in the best conditions.
This location has went through a lot in the recent history. When we look at the condition, we realize that this is not a safe condition for anyone to be in, either temporary or long term.
The city is looking to reset the current encampment while temporarily moving current residents to another space.
I think it's awesome. I think the cleanup is going to help them be able to stay healthy, safety.
Kermit Elliott shares this cleanup allows local agencies to come together and introduce the homeless to available resources.
By all the agencies coming together to help this this issue, it would also help the homeless become housed and become sheltered. And that's our main goal.
And this cleanup should not be looked at as the long-term goal.
We are working for anyone that comes through the process, working to get them to that next level. So this is, they deserve that at minimum. But again, it's not the long-range goal. Nobody wants that as the long-range goal.
The city says cleanup is expected to start by the end of the month. In Huntsville, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
And the city is recruiting volunteers to help make the transition smoother. Details can be found on our website on fox54.com.
Now, another hot zip code on Unzipped, sponsored by ValleyMLS.com.
It's that time of the month where we unzip another part of North Alabama, taking a closer look at a neighborhood near you. Our Gabe Glassman is unzipping a town with farming roots known for not just growing produce.
As you leave Huntsville coming north and you leave the city limits, Meridianville is the first community you come to going north out of the city limits.
Today, we unzip the 35759, also known as Meridianville.
It's a fantastic community, and we welcome you with open arms and can't wait to get to know you and know your families and really just, bring you into this community.
This tight-knit town with a population of more than 10,000 people may just look like farmlands to the naked eye.
It's a community where you can go to the local restaurant and you know the majority of the people that are there.
Many in the area come to this city for local produce. Some of those spots include Reed's Farmers Market, Fowler's Tomatoes, or Tate Farms. Tate Farms was recently recognized as the #5 pumpkin patch in the nation, which has been around since the mid-90s.
I don't think that back in 1996 they ever thought that we would become what we are today.
And Tate Farms brings in people from all over the country every year just in time for the fall season.
Just to be in the community and know that we have people coming back year after year after year as adults, bringing their children back to see us and grandchildren back to see us. It's a really good feeling.
This town is more than a farmer's paradise. Like many other towns in the area, Meridianville is getting bigger.
We're growing, and Meridianville's getting huge, but we're still keeping that down-home feeling that we've always had, and we hope to always be able to keep that.
There's a lot of new people coming into this community because they want to be part of a community that has more of a rural setting than to be in the city limits.
So, if you're looking for a close community with farm features in your backyard, the 35759 has you covered. With your Unzipped, I'm Gabe Glassman.
Nowadays, you can find a cup of coffee almost anywhere, but a great atmosphere can make that cup taste just a little bit better. In this Food for Thought, our Ken McCoy takes us to Savvy Cafe.
So Savvy Cafe was kind of originated out of a change of career, so to speak.
Change, big or little, is sometimes necessary.
So my basic career for the past several decades has been in the fitness world. I mean, everything was great, was doing well, and then of course COVID hit, right? So COVID hit and changed the face of the business, so it was just a big monkey wrench in the program. So I'm going, okay, what next?
Meet Deborah Thomason, a well-rounded entrepreneur who doesn't shy away from a new challenge.
So I did a leap of faith, and I took all of 2022 and I researched and I studied for a year. And I went to one of my friend's restaurants, and I didn't tell anybody what I was doing. I just went there and worked one day a week in the kitchen prepping food, peeling potatoes, chopping cucumbers, learning how to prep in the kitchen.
This Food for Thought is best served with a cup of coffee. So let's take a visit to Savvy Cafe out in Toney, Alabama.
The coffee business, coffee industry, you have your Starbucks, you have your Dunkin' Donuts, places like that. Do you kind of find it hard to compete with those other brands, or do you think like the down home feel that you guys provide kind of gives you an edge?
So they have that edge and nationally known, but I think the customer service and that down home feeling of when people, I can't tell you how many people come into the cafe and they're like, it's so charming in here, it's warm and welcoming, and that's important to me.
Savvy Cafe isn't your ordinary coffee shop. Its down-home welcoming environment is matched with unique menu options.
So now for the fun part, we get to talk about the food. I know we talked a little bit before about it. Kind of tell us about the menu here at Savvy.
So our menu, we currently serve breakfast and lunch. So for breakfast, we have everything from bagels and croissants, and of course we have waffles.
On today's menu, we have waffles with strawberry and whipped toppings, a very delicious chicken pesto flatbread, and a Cuban panini. And they were all amazing.
Amazing.
If you want to try everything you've seen, plus much more, from one of my favorite coffee shops here in the area, head on down to Savvy Cafe here off of Highway 53. With your food for thought, I'm Ken McCoy.
Postal workers rallying outside of Huntsville's downtown post office today. The workers believe the Postal Service is understaffed, leaving those that are employed to take on more work and hurting those who use the service. A point of contention was a 2012 change which saw Huntsville's mail being sent to the Birmingham post office for processing, only to come back to Huntsville for delivery. Fox 54 spoke to workers at the rally to learn more.
And this rally is to have better services, better staffing for our customers. So you got better staffing, you got better service. The service right now that we're providing is definitely inadequate. It's all come from the 10-year plan of Postmaster General DeJoy. And in that 10-year plan, the 10-year plan is actually cutting staffing. It's also cutting the service.
Well, that rally was one of many around the country, and American Post Worker Union members say they will not back down. Happy Rosh Hashanah. It's the Jewish New Year, and today we saw unity between two different religions. A luncheon was held for members of Temple B'nai Shalom to eat and celebrate a new year for the Jewish community, and it was at First Baptist Church. The question has to be asked, though, why host such an event in a church but not at the synagogue? We spoke to Rabbi P.J. Schwartz to learn more.
First Baptist Church and Temple B'nai Shalom have a very, very strong relationship and a strong partnership with one another. And we believe in the ability for us to come together in different ways and shapes and forms, and for us to find commonality where we're able to do so and come together as a community.
And if you wish to attend one of the Temple Rosh Hashanah services, one will be held this Saturday at Big Spring Park.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
Creativity is paramount when it comes to keeping the attention of the smallest bunch. We're about to meet a pre-K teacher with a hands-on approach to teaching the littles. Here's this week's top teacher, Brittany Green from Wilson Elementary School in Florence. Pre-K is where Brittany Green finds her passion.
I absolutely love early childhood.
She says during this time is when the students' light bulbs light up.
This age, they're beginning their education.
Green's been teaching pre-K for 5 years and found out
they still love you.
And in her classroom,
every day is a new day.
Green says her love for school goes back when she was in school.
I knew this is it was my calling. I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
And now that she's a teacher, she says her kids have a lot to learn.
For early childhood pre-K, we're very hands-on, and we've just learned 5 senses. So with the letter of the week, they are seeing it, they're touching it, they're hearing it. Even that week, we learned to taste.
They even have a theme of the week. This go-round was all about apples.
Each center has something apple-related in it. They are supposed to be investigating the pieces of apple.
There is a sensory table.
They have got oats and cinnamon sticks.
And an apple market too. But it's not just inside the classroom that Green makes an impact. Her principal says she has a servant's heart.
This past year, she organized a school supply drive for our school to where it was able to take the financial burden of purchasing school supplies off of our parents. She's definitely a great role model for a lot of us to look up to, and just also her children. They love her, they adore her.
When Green's kids move on to kindergarten, she hopes they continue to carry good character.
My biggest thing with my kids is that they learn how to be kind, they learn how to be respectful, and they know that they're loved, and they gain a passion for learning.
Congratulations, Brittany. Check out the moment she was surprised as top teacher in our bonus clip and nominated deserving teacher on fox54.com. There's a saying, you can do both. This teen you're about to meet does just that. We're taking you to Colbert Heights High School, where this junior is leveling the playing field in every sense of the word. He plays football and the bass drum in his high school band. I've seen it myself, and so will you. Check it out. Throughout the week, you can find Colbert Heights Jr. Tristan Ham on the field with the school band.
I play the last bass drum, the big one, the heavy one.
Strong is the back that wears the bass drum. Tristan says he's been playing this since the 7th grade.
It's pretty fun to me.
And he says the people make it fun.
I mean, I just kind of fit in here too.
But when Tristan's not on this field,
hard work on 3. 1, 2, 3, hard work.
He's on the other.
Contact team ready. Exercise. See.
Tristan plays football. He says he's been into the sport forever.
Since I was like 3.
Right now, he plays defensive end and, when needed, tight end. And since freshman year, he's done both band and football at the same time.
It gets rough sometimes.
His schedule overlaps.
On days like Monday, I just go to football after school, and it's easy because this is the 7th period, so it's fine. But then on Tuesdays, I usually go here about 30 minutes, and then I walk down to the football field and show up a little later.
And on game day,
usually I have 7th period here, so if it's an away game, I'll pack all my stuff up, and then my friends they'll put my stuff up on the bus for me.
And once it's game time,
we play the first half, and then I'll do the halftime show.
Number 33 with his football gear on and all.
I don't change. I just do it in my pads.
For Tristan, it's double the fun on the field.
I find it fun doing both things, and the people my peers, I enjoy doing it with them. It makes it so much more fun.
And Tristan's band director, Jill Kirk, backs him on it.
You can do both. Band directors, that's a huge saying in the band director world, is you can do both. I encourage everyone, if a kid is able to do it and wants to do it, have them do it.
His head coach, Tyler Jeffries, is a fan too.
It's been good so far for us, so I'm proud of him for being able to juggle all the things that he does.
Just been playing it forever, and I found it fun, so I'm not going to quit it.
That's right, he's not going to quit. Tristan tells me he plans on finishing out high school, still playing both football and the bass drum. For breaking news and weather headlines when you're on the go, be sure to get the FOX54 mobile app. While there, you can get the latest sports headlines and check out our regular features like Top Teacher and Emily Explains. More digital exclusive series like this can be found on the FOX54 Plus app on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices. And a quick programming note. Weekend Review is taking a bye next week, but we'll return Friday, October 18th with another look at local headlines. Until then, I'm Kenesha Dees, wishing you a good weekend.